Hello, wealth builders, and welcome to today's edition of Friday Facing Your Finances. Last week we talked about a couple that had enough money to pay all of their expenses as well as do a little bit of saving, but was not building wealth. And this week, we are going to be talking about a couple that can meet their monthly expenses, but don't have enough money to save. So this particular case was the household income was $70,000, and they had $30,000 in credit card debt, and they had outstanding car loan. So the first thing that we did was we looked at the debt that they had. And the other thing was that they were spending $1,200 a month on food, be it groceries and eating out. And so we looked at that because when you talk about trying to find money to save, the first place that we like to look at is the grocery bill, because a lot of people, and I've talked about this in other videos, you can find the extra $50 in your grocery bill. And so just by going through your grocery bill and shopping from a needs and wants perspective, mainly focusing on what your needs are relative to what your wants are, and setting an actual budget surrounding your grocery spending and your eating out. And if you do that, you can quickly find an extra $50 just in that alone. So that's a bonus there. But what we also wanted to look at was that credit card debt and that car loan. So with that, what we did is we looked at all of the credit cards they had. They had 3 credit cards. And so we looked at the one that had the lowest balance and what the payment was on that. Now, remember I told you about the extra $50 that we were looking for, because what we wanted to do with that extra $50 is we wanted to take that and apply that to help pay down some of their debt. Okay? So once we found the extra $50 that we could use on the lowest bill that they had, the lowest credit card balance that they had, we took that $50 and we applied it to the payment that they were making on the monthly basis to that particular credit card. So that was in addition to the standard payment, minimum payment that they were making, we added an additional $50 to it. Okay, and then the plan is once they pay that smallest balance off, and the reason why I like to use the smallest balance is because once you get that paid off, that encourages you, that motivates you to be ready to move on to that next debt. It builds momentum. So once you get that particular low balance card paid off, then you can move to your next balance. Okay, and so how that works is that you take, so let's say their minimum payment on that particular one was $100 and they added $50, so they were sending $150 into the credit card company. That bill is now paid off. So now they're moving on to their next lowest balance credit card, okay? And so what they do is they take that $150 that they were paying to the first credit card company, and now that $150 is going to be applied to the second credit card company, along with whatever the minimum payment was on that particular card. And as you will see, that further builds momentum in the paying down of debt. And so, of course, after you finish paying off that second credit card, then you move to the third. When it's all said and done, you've cleared all of the money that you were sending into the credit card companies as payments to pay down that debt. Once you pay those off, you've now cleared that money, and you have it to save or you have it to invest in order to build up wealth. So for this particular situation, it was a matter of looking at the debt they had and how we could attack that so that we could create a way for them to be able to save. So I hope that these tips have helped you today. Thank you for joining. Now, next week on Friday, we will be talking about a single person who doesn't have enough money to cover their monthly obligations, and what applications we apply to that to be able to help them out of that situation. So join us next week, and remember, you can always find us on Instagram, on YouTube at Debt Not Allowed, and the website debtnotallowed.com. Remember, debt is not in your DNA. See you next week. Money. I'm looking for committed people. In order to be successful in your financial freedom positioning journey, you have to be committed to the process.